Tonight on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, they were bored with the pleasures of this world, and they wanted to experience something beyond. So they went to him for some help, and he came up with something. But heck no, we're not gonna drink the blood of Dracula. That's the line, you know, all the debauchery and stuff like that, black magic, fine. But drinking Dracula blood? Nah, we're gonna pass. Tonight's movie, Taste the Blood of Dracula.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. The Year of Infamy. Yes, tonight, we are going to review a movie from one of my favorite production companies, movie companies, whatever you want to call it, and that is the Hammer Movie Company, the Hammer Production Company, whatever they want to call it. They're just the Hammer, and I am the nail, because they always hit me. Bam! Anyways, so we are going to review one of their Dracula movies. Yes, the great and wonderful Christopher Lee in Taste the Blood of Dracula. Taste it now, taste it. Little salty. Anyway, so what is Taste the Blood of Dracula all about? Well, it starts off with Dracula, the Count himself, being killed? What? The beginning of the movie Dracula dies? What in the world is going on? Well, just so happens a traveling merchant comes across his dead essence. It's not really a body anymore, because his blood just kind of turned into a red powder. And so, of course, he takes his locket or signet or whatever you want to call it, bottles up the blood that's now a powder and makes off, because apparently, you know, it's probably going to be worth something. Fast forward to a nice Sunday afternoon, the church is getting out, and three prominent, well-to-do families are leaving, and one of them is kind of like a super, I don't know how you would say, prudish, stick-in-the-mud type of guy. Yes, he was railing against his daughter because of her lascivious acts of being nice to some guy who likes her, and of course she likes him, and they were just having some small talk and things like that. But my God, he's like, "You are acting like a harlot! A harlot, I tell you! You know what? When we get home, you are going straight to bed, into your room, nothing, no anything. You are grounded." And trust me, kids nowadays, go into your room back then was, like a death sentence, because there's no television, no phones, no internet, no nothing. It was just your room and windows and perhaps some books. Books, man. Anyways, of course, the mother is, you know, "Oh no, don't be so mean to him." It's like, "Come on, cheer up. I'll have the maid make you your favorite dinner." And she's like, "What are you talking about, crazy woman? Do you realize what day it is?" "Oh, that's right, you're right. It's that day that you are going to the soup kitchen to volunteer and give back to the community, help feed the hungry and the poor. That is right. Me and my three friends are going to the soup kitchen on our weekly or monthly volunteer work." So he gets into his carriage, picks up the other fellas, and go downtown to the soup kitchen. And as they enter, you can see the homeless people, the hungry, eating soup, unwashed masses, and they make their way to the back room where you think, you know, this is where they're going to change and then start chopping vegetables and start stirring the pot, things like that, maybe washing some dishes. No, actually, this soup kitchen is a front for a high-end brothel. Yes, a den of iniquity. And these three upstanding fine gentlemen who were just chastising his daughter for being a harlot, for just talking to a guy, he is going to commingle with whores and prostitutes. It's actually the same thing, but anyways, so they are having the time of their lives. Well, actually, they kind of seem a little bored, at least the leader, the main guy. And oh, who bursts in but this younger gentleman who was like the son of some failed businessman or something like that. Anyways, he comes in and steals some of the ladies, and of course the person running the place is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, fellas. I'm so sorry. You know, he's just all the ladies love him," and of course the leader's like, "Why do they love him?" It's like, "Well, it's because he shows them all kinds of magic and black rituals and darkness and stuff like that." And of course, being a man of good, upstanding citizenry, a good church-going man, he's like, I'm bored with everything in life, and I'm bored with these floozy girls and stuff like this, but perhaps this man can open a portal into a deeper realm of pleasure. So, of course, as he leaves, the three of them, the three gentlemen, stop the black magic sorcerer guy and invite him to dinner so that they can discuss the ways to enhance their experience. And of course, at dinner, he tells them, "Look, if you're really serious about this, you need to pledge your eternal souls to my master." His master? Who is his master? Well, everyone's probably thinking, you know, Satan, probably, anyways. But they're like, "Okay, you know what? Sure, let's do it, whatever." It's like, "Okay, well, you need to purchase something for me, and then we will be able to do it." So they go to the merchant that I was talking about earlier, and they purchase the blood of Dracula, except it's powder and whatever. Anyways, so they go to this isolated, abandoned church. The man sets up an altar of disgrace or sacrilege, whatever, anyways, and they each get a goblet, and they pour some of the dust into the goblet and say some words, and then he cuts each of their hands, and they bleed into the goblet, and the goblet bubbles up with blood, and they need to drink. And of course, like, the three guys, being ever so bored with their common human existence, want to transcend into the next level of experience, just drink up. No, they chicken out like a bunch of pussies. I'm sorry. Hey, oh, by the way, if you're offended that I said they chickened out like a bunch of pussies, get the fuck off my channel. Fuck you. Anyways, look. Anyways, so of course they're like, "Oh no, I ain't drinking this shit," whatever. And he's like, in the main, and the servant of Dracula is like, "Oh, you cowards!" and drinks, and then starts choking and gasping, and everyone's freaking out. And so what do these three fine gentlemen do? Because they see this guy choking to death, and he's freaking out, and everyone's freaking out. What do you think they do? It's like, "Oh, maybe we should help him. Let's take him to a doctor. Let's try to, like, you know, see, maybe pat him on the back or give him the Heimlich." It's like, no, they beat him to death with their canes. Because, you know, that's how you do it, right? It's like, "Oh my God, that guy's choking to death. Hurry, grab me a cane so I can beat him," because obviously getting beaten to death gotta feel a lot better than choking to death, right? I mean, come on, people, right? So, anyways, he's dead. They freak out. "Oh my God, we murdered somebody. Let's get the out of here." You know, not like, "Oh, you know what? We murdered someone. We could get caught. Let's hide the body," or something. No, let's leave. They run out, and of course, the guy turns to dust, and then he becomes Dracula. Yes, resurrected Dracula, which kind of begs the question, what if they didn't chicken out and they like drank up the fluids? Would they all have like turned into Dracula? Would we have had 4 Draculas? Or would they be like, or Dracula's essence would be like split amongst them or something? Or they would all be like superpower vampire zombie monster guys? I don't know, but it's kind of an interesting question. However, we didn't go that way. So anyways, so he vows revenge for what they did to his servant, even though, I mean, like, was he, like if they didn't beat him to death, would he have lived and then Dracula would have just spawned out of him or something and he would still be alive? Or I don't know, they don't really explain this. Anyways, so of course Dracula's revenge is to turn their families, their daughters and sons against them and hunt them down and kill them one by one. And of course, the poor daughter of the main guy who's so in love with this guy that her father totally disapproves of. She is, of course, the first victim to fall into the trance, and it's up to the would-be boyfriend to try to save her as well as everybody else from Dracula's diabolical plans before they all have to burn in infinite torment. Anyways, the rest of the movie happens after that. But let's get to those scores, shall we? Violence and gore, I am going to give this a 2 out of 5. This is definitely, I mean, outside of the blood goblets, this is definitely not as bloody of a movie as some of the other Hammer productions. Yet there is some nice blood spray with some stakings here and there. But overall, nothing too spectacular. 2 out of 5. Shock value, I am going to give this a 1 out of 5. It's got nice atmosphere, and there are some genuinely creepy moments, but overall, nothing too shocking, nothing too to get your heart pumping. So, 1 out of 5. Plot, I am going to give this kind of a disappointing 2 out of 5. It's a Dracula movie with not a lot of Dracula. And yes, I know there's an interesting take of having the servants do all the dirty work, but the movie just feels like it happens too quickly, and there's just not enough development within the story as a whole for me to get really like super into it and super excited. It just feels like it just happens and then it's over, and not much was actually done. Especially with the characters and especially with Dracula. It's, you know, a very, very light Dracula tale. So I'm giving it a 2 out of 5. Come on, it's Dracula. Put him in there a little bit more. Come on. Anyways, moving on to acting, I am going to give this a 3 out of 5. Most of it's just, you know, your average horror movie acting, but, you know, Christopher Lee elevates everything that he's in. And he is great, even though he's got very little to do in this movie, but he's still a presence and decent enough. So 3 out of 5. Going on to Nudity. Nudity, I'm going to give it a 1 out of 5, which is probably a little generous because honestly, there's not much going on. Just some flashing here and there during the brothel scenes, but nothing super sustained, so, you know, it could easily have been a 0.5 probably, but I'll bump it up to 1 because, you know, I think they bust in on, the one guy busts in on a pair, literally a pair. Anyways, 1 out of 5. Moving on to enjoyment factor, I am going to give this an average 2.5 out of 5. I mean, I really wanted to enjoy this movie much better, but I think of it as being, think of this as being one of the weaker entries in the Dracula saga of Hammer. But then again, I haven't seen, you know, the AD 1970s something, whatever, Dracula one. I mean, no, I know a long time ago I did see, what was it, The Satanic Rites of Dracula? But anyways. So, yeah, I wanted there to be more blood, more Dracula, maybe some more tits, but, you know, it is what it is. 2.5 out of 5. My overall impression is because of the weakness in the, the plot, and just kind of like the overall, just sort of like it's there and it happens, and then it's just kind of like not a lot of exploration of what's going on, I guess. 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5, my overall impression. Yeah, it's disappointing, which leads to a very, very, very low score on the average score. A 1.9 out of 5. Look, the movie's okay, but I'm going to be harsh on it because, like, it kind of was boring, and it felt really, really weak compared to the other Hammer productions that I have watched. Usually you get a great plethora of stuff from interesting characters, interesting dialogue, humor here and there, some of it inappropriate, decent blood, decent tits, and yet this one just feels kind of flat. So there you have it. Taste the Blood of Dracula. Tastes a little stale now that I think about it. Anyways, what did you think? Have you seen the movie? Comment in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Don't forget to subscribe, rate, ring the bell, notifications, yada yada, blah blah blah. No one's watching right now anyways, but that is it for tonight on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. And remember, Internet, to stay scary. And also, you know what? If there's some creepy guy who's wowing the ladies with his supernatural paranoia crap, you know what? Just let him do his thing. Just there's no need. There's some things that are better left alone. Like drinking the blood, the dusted crystalline form of the blood of Dracula. I mean, just say no to conjurations, man. Just do it. Just say no to that, okay? Seriously. Just say no, alright? More you know. Ah!